Welcome to a new spirit that will warm your heart. Welcome to a new spirit. Every day's a brand new start. Where encouraging words can heal your soul and dreams will be renewed. Welcome to a new spirit, a new spirit in you.
Time. Taking away the moments that make up a dull day. Welcome to the New Spirit Radio Show by the Society of Novus Spiritus, founded by world-renowned spiritual teacher Sylvia Browne. Of course, today's date should be, where are we? May 17th of 2023. Coming to you live from California, both NorCal and SoCal, are your hosts, Reverend Tom Bigley and Reverend Catherine Taylor. We're playing audio segments we call Messages from Spirit. Why? Answering the ultimate question, why are we here and what is our purpose?
These segments are recorded trance sessions from Francine, Sylvia's spirit guide. So for new people, Sylvia was a full trance medium, which means Sylvia contracted to let her and Francine's essences exchange places in Sylvia's body. And we think of our bodies being similar to a car, where one driver gets out and another driver gets in. This allowed Francine to share spiritual knowledge with us directly from the other side.
On occasion, another master teacher and healer, a guide named Rahim, would exchange with Sylvia and present us with spiritual information as well. Francine and Rahim shared directly from sources like the Akashic Records, Mother and Father God, our spirit guides, Christ, and many others.
And meanwhile, during trance, Sylvia would sit on a nice bench in a rose garden on the other side.
And here are our hosts, Reverend Catherine Taylor and Reverend Tom Bigley.
Hi, how's it going?
How do you do? How does that resonate now?
Reverend, I'm so excited. Just been just really enjoying the like doing things behind the scenes and thinking about stuff that I want to do for making just helping out with our online presence and thinking about content to share and come up with, and I'm super excited. Yeah, I'm just really excited. Yeah.
Yay. Welcome everybody that's
hello
here listening in live. I can't see how many, but I know there's a handful of people that love to listen live. A quick agenda for those of you that are new. What we're going to what are we going to do? Well, we're going to talk a little bit about how did you use Novus Spiritus philosophy in the last week. And for those of you that know about this, now it's a good time to start typing in what you like to share, how you use Novus philosophy. Then I'll follow up with some announcements, and then I will do a moment of silence for special prayers. Then we get to share and listen in on the trance segments. If you want to participate in a meditation, we will be providing that. I'll then talk about some closing notes, and then we have a special prayer session that everybody's welcome to participate in called the Novena. I'll describe a little bit more about that later when we get there. Then we move on to talk about appreciation and how that's helpful. Then we conclude with a prayer by Sylvia.
Fantastic.
So our next step, somewhere here.
Jinx Jill. He popped up right as Jill said, "Hi Tom, Cat, and hopefully Kitty," and Floofy's just like, "Boop. Happy game."
Is it gonna? Okay, I think it's gonna keep going. It almost like went out as I. Okay. What did I say we're doing? Oh, we're doing that. Okay, so quick. Oh, you know what? My instructions, my agenda's a little bit off here because I said we're gonna do how'd you use Novus philosophy? Then we go to announcements, but now it says I go to announcements. So
Okay.
Real quick on announcements here. We do appreciate all the listeners, both live and on demand. Would you show appreciation for us by sharing, promoting, liking, subscribing, clicking on the bell, and of course, when you can, donate. There's some future in the near future. You'll be able to donate in different fashions, but for now, if you want to contribute, you can go to the website and drop off a donation there.
Fantastic.
Why is that? Oh, because that's supposed to do that. Let's see. I did mention. Yep, I think I covered the basic notes. I'll repeat some of these later. And I got so many buttons in front of me. It's like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? Announcement. So now's our fun favorite. Is how did you use Novus Spiritus philosophy last week? So I like to ask Kat. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first? Do you want to play rock, scissors, paper, or?
I think it's time to play some rock, scissors, paper.
Okay. All right.
We haven't done this in months.
Yeah. All right. Rock, scissor, paper.
Oh,
You win.
dang. Okay. I would love to hear what you used of Novus philosophy.
All right. Well,
Novus
I may disappoint because it's kind of
That's okay.
Oh, so what I do want to share, I didn't write any major anecdotes other than the fact that, yes, I'm still learning to get over myself, as Chris recommended in the recent reading. So, fun, different. Well, yeah, I could share with that. It's like, one of the things he mentioned for me to help get out of myself is go to parties. And I'm like, because his fun point was, I'm kind of a homebody. Well, all right, I'm thinking, how am I gonna, if I'm a homebody, how am I gonna go to parties? Well, I'm finding all kinds of business related things that are getting me out and being a non-homebody, as it were. So getting out, talking to people, and so that's a fun and a couple of activities that I want to do here in the near future. I think I mentioned taking a beginner's improv class is one of my goals to do also. So it gets me out and you know what was special for me that also is related to getting out and not quite partying, but going to parties. So about 4 years ago, there was my office, my real estate office, is right next to right in between two temples, Hindu temples, and so one of them 4 years ago, there was a gentleman there that he's the Swami, and he's dedicated his life, his time to serving and being the as it were the I forget the right word, but the deity, not the deity, but the person that gives out the prayers and the blessings and so on, and that's all he does. He doesn't work. He doesn't. He relies on everybody to give him food, shelter, and clothing, as it were. Well, a really nice guy. It was had fun discussion with him like 4 years ago. Well, pandemic came along and his visa came up, and so he had to go back to India, and he's been gone for 4 years. And recently, apparently, they've started holding services recently in their office space. And 2 days ago, I saw a person walking down our sidewalk in front of sort of on the sidewalk that goes in front of our office, and this gentleman, he's dressed in the garb that it's like a wrapped in cloth, as it were. The gentleman that typically is their Swami there, and I waved at the guy because I thought, he's just here. I haven't seen him in a while, and I didn't realize who it was. And so I pulled in the parking lot, parked, and he walked all the way back and stopped and was attempting to say, "Hi, how are you?" And of course, he doesn't speak English, and I don't speak the language, so we're gesturing to each other about, oh, what's going on and how's, and poorly communicating. But I didn't think of who the heck that was. I thought it was a new person. And I thought, thank you, and I gotta go. So I went in my office and thinking, I don't know if I was rude or not, but anyway, I went into my office, and like a few minutes later, I realized that's the guy that was here 4 years ago. And I go, oh my God, now I'm embarrassed because I didn't recognize him. So anyway, few days later, few days later, there were some people standing outside of their office, and I walked over before I went home. I walked over. I said, "Hey, can you help me out here?" Because they speak the language and can interpret. And sure enough, they brought me in and introduced me to them, and I explained to them, "Hey, I was embarrassed, when you were outside, so it was a fun reuniting, I guess it were." So anyway,
that's wonderful.
that's another venue for me for going to a party, interacting
there,
with other
yeah.
people, because they have a large group of people that show up on various days of the week, and they're very welcoming people.
Oh,
So
that's
a fun,
beautiful. That is
fun,
really cool.
yeah. And let's see. So what else did I have? Oh, so in the near future trances, I wanted to point out that there's some fun. There's been discussion, people asking questions about the relationship of Mother and Father God. Well, in the near future here, I've just been editing some of the transes. There's talking about Mother and Father God's relationship, and that how did that come about? Because there was actually confusion
wow.
during trance for some people. They were trying to really get a definitive answer to it. So this is fun coming
Cool.
up here in the near future. And
Fascinating.
I found another famous phrase during editing. So that'll be a fun thing to share one of
Ooh,
these days.
fantastic. Look forward to it.
That's my 50
Look forward
cents
to it.
worth.
That was a very good 50 cents. I love it. Oh boy. Okay, so for everyone who's listening, I see that you've got lots of comments about what you shared of Novus philosophy. So if you haven't written one in, please feel free to share your reflections if you feel like sharing, and we'll get to read. I always look forward to reading those. For myself, I have continued to just allow my phone to send my notifications of times, like what time
okay.
it is. So the one that now pops up at 6 p.m. says, "Asna, wash my day away." Just Asna, wash my day clean. And so it's been a very, very positive experience because I have not had a good relationship with time for a long time. So I've really been thinking about what this talk is talking about with envisioning yourself as being in your own bubble, like outside of time, and being like comfortable in myself, and allowing myself to now like start to basically program having a positive relationship every time that I see a notification pop up on my phone, because every 3 hours a notification popping up saying like, "Hey, by the way, this is a blessed hour." Like, that's really positive. That's really nice. By the way, this is angels are around right now in extra strong abundance on the noon hours. Like, that's so lovely. And so I've had such a positive experience with this, and it's been just like literally a godsend. It's been very, very positive and healing. And additionally, there was one other thing that I was very intentional about doing, like kind of through this process as I was thinking about time and trying to change my relationship to it. I've been thinking about kind of similar to what you were saying. I've been thinking about my own like needing to activate and not be home as much. I really, really love my home. I really love being here in my home. I feel so comfortable. but I thought to myself, I just have noticed that I have a few attitudes that I don't really find to be of use, and I have been trying to figure out where these attitudes have been coming from, about like not wanting to activate in certain ways, but they just are not of use, and I have no idea where they came from. And so finally I was just fed up, and so this week I said, God, wherever these came from, no matter what life they came from, I just help me just wake up like renewed from it. And so instead of like doing a self-hypnosis regression to try to find like what were the issues, I'm just like, I'm tired of it. So it reminds me of a talk that Francine said one time, of saying like, if you have a problem that you want buried, you can actually like write it down and bury it in the ground and make it a full ritual. Just be prepared for it to be buried. And so I kind of feel like that's where I'm at with a few of these attitudes. I'm just like, I just want to be a full participant in my life, and not only be very, 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 very comfortable at home, but also to just to get back in touch with the rhythm and flow of life post-pandemic, even though we're still arguably in pandemic. But it's just, what I'm talking about, like the craziness of the last couple of years.
Right.
So like, I don't want to get too comfortable in that, and I want to get back into life. So that's what I'm noticing about myself. So those have all been positive. Yeah.
Good.
And I woke up feeling very different. And I was like, oh, wow. I woke up, I had energy, and I was just like, let's go. And my attitude was just different. And I was like, thank you, God. I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to go. And so the last couple of days, I've just been on a roll. So thank you, God.
It reminded me of visualizations. Our mind and recent editing, Francine is reminding us to use visualization. And so you're saying, do a literal, write it on paper and bury it. That's a visual. That's a physical active thing. And I also thought of, we've had that meditation of the Golden Corral. I call it the Golden Corral.
Yes, the Golden Corral.
That I put the sand. For me personally, I put sand in it, and that's where I put stuff. I shove it in there to neutralize things. And what was she was also talking about the asking for balance. So visualize that the scale, the measuring scale that we think of for like money or balance. What's the word? Balance of justice. It's the
scales of justice. Yeah.
Thank you. The scales of justice. So when you're asking for balance in your life, visualize that in your mind, that the scale is balanced. So it's I thought that was a fun. So yeah, that's a fun visual that you.
Yeah, that feels good.
Created.
Yeah, that feels good, asking for balance, because I think that's the goal that I want. I think a lot of people want, is like just balance. Want to have every key. Like I tell this, I say this in therapy when people ask, a potential new client asks, like, what's your approach to therapy? I will usually mention that I envision the goal of healing to be at a place where every key on your piano is unstuck, so that you can be free to pursue the songs that you want to pursue without running into problems and having to like skip entire sections of your piano. So that's the visual that I go for.
Fun.
Yeah. Well, we've got some fabulous messages from people.
Okay.
Shall we listen to? All right. So listeners, everyone here today, I'm so happy that you're here. You guys are amazing. Naomi shares, last show I shared in the comment section, the times and prayers that I set on my cell phone clock. Okay, so Naomi shares that she also set reminders on her phone as well for the for the clocks. I hope you're having fun with that. She also shares, I'm also regularly calling on my inner counsel and praying on the hours suggested. I received a miracle during rough times, so praying regularly all day definitely works. That is cool. That is cool. Reverend Danny shares, petitioning Asna to help my sister in getting results. Thanks, Asna. Thank you, Mother God. Fabulous. Sherry shares, good evening. Good evening back to you, too. Let's see here. Thomas shares, I learned from Chris that I have a spirit guide named Alfred, one angel, and my animal totem is a jaguar. Woo!
All right.
Jaguar has a very, very strong bite. And I noticed with your name, like Thomas, Thomas's writing. So I know that you're a writer. So that's actually so. My totem is a panther, and so they're in the same group. So the jaguar and the panther are both basically the same animal, but they have very, very, very strong bites. And so I've always interpreted that as if to say you're a very good communicator. You have the potential to be a very, very good communicator. So I find that interesting, and I think it's probably fitting if you're a writer. So that's cool. That's cool. Miss LJ, hello. She says, good afternoon, everyone. I hope your life is giving you everything that you wish to have for yourself and those you care about. Such a pleasure to be here with you all. Likewise, back at you. Reverend Effie is here. Hello. Let's see here. Old School says, I'm getting better at praying on the Trinity hours and praying to Mother Asna and my archetypes to help and protect my middle daughter to get through a very tough time. And those prayers were answered. Fantastic. We'll send prayers her way as well.
Nice.
Jorge says, I just recently shared my beliefs about Mother God, Father God, and Jesus. I'm thankful for this radio show and community. Blessings to all. It's wonderful. I hope that it went well. I'm always surprised because usually it does go well. Even with my very atheist, I have a good friend who's very, 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 very atheist, just outstandingly atheist individual. And he's like, okay, well, I'll keep that in mind. He sees the tunnel. I'm like, that's you good, honey. It's no worries. It's not worries. Nothing to worry about. It's funny. Sherry shares, my daughter asked me to pray for her to be able to go on vacation after a huge ordeal with airlines and fraud associated with it. Oh my goodness. And she was able to go. The lady at the airport counter was able to assist her, and she and her family are vacationing at this moment. Oh, that's a blessing. I'm glad that was resolved. Gibson, hello. I just realized a few days after last week's show what the meaning of Gnostics taking on more than most. Ooh, I'm living it, knowing that I can reorganize my life and let things go. I use the term getting things off my plate. All right, keeping you in my prayers. Miss LJ shares Novus philosophy. Number 1, catching my self-sabotage of negative spirals and putting positive reflections instead. Good for you. That's hard work. Good for you. Number 2, bringing in more requests. Excellent. To my guardian angel, asking for harmony and peace for meditation. It's lovely. Old School shares, I also watched the church service and spirit talks that have been posted before I found you guys. So appreciative. It's available. And so far, every time I've watched, it's been exactly what I needed. It's wonderful. Murrow shares, I feel the same way, as if I have 2 different sides when I'm home versus when I'm at work. I want to marry the 2 selves to be as productive at work as I am at home and vice versa. I hear it. I hear it. Thomas says, I also learned from Chris that I had 36 past lives and I'm on my last life. And then we have a question. So I'll read the question. Miss LJ asks, when we dream, it's usually from stress or instruction from our angels. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Does anyone ever dream of a cell phone in a dream? Just curious. I've got some comments, but you were you were very good at dreams.
Well, that sounds more like symbolic, like it's representing something. So yeah, why not have a cell phone so to be involved? There's um, typically the things that I listen for in a dream are, is it realistic? If it's not realistic, if it's a deceased loved one that's in the dream, or um, physical things are happening that we don't normally get to see in real life, those kind of things are, to me, that says the dream is symbolic. But of course it's still up to the person that's telling me their dream, what it feels like to them, what's their sense of it. So um, I posed the question, what does a cell phone mean to you? When you think of a cell phone, what does it mean to you? What comes to mind? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of a cell phone? And that's the clue of what that's representing for you.
I'd be thinking, is someone trying to send me a message, or do I need to call someone?
That could work for you. It's
Yeah.
but
What does it mean for you? Yeah.
I'm sorry, was it LJ that asked that question?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. So LJ, the question to you is, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of cell phone? Kat gave hers, but that's her. That's relative to her. So what is it to you? That's a clue, and there's something related to it. And plus, was there any other activities or symbology in the dream? But if that seems significant to you, no, it's not unusual, unless it seemed unusual to you in the dream, while you were in the dream. So some fun clues for that.
Excellent. Good thoughts. Sylvia's Book of Dreams is absolutely. I absolutely strongly recommend it if anyone is interested in dreams, because she really gets into describing the different types, like hopes and fears, dreams where you're practicing a task before you do the task. Like I remember she talked about one lady who had said that she kept having a recurring dream about jumping out of an airplane. She's like, why? Like, why? But she was practicing a task of taking a leap of faith.
Mm.
A leap of faith in herself. Then there's a lot of. Then Francine has also said that we'd be surprised how much of our dreams are helping us work through things that happened through past lives as well. So there's that angle too. But Sylvia's dream book is just fascinating. It's a really, really good read, and she does a fabulous job of teaching the way that she does. So.
Cool. Thank you for sharing that. Any other comments or?
Some folks are sharing their totems, which is neat. Reverend Effie says, I've learned my totem animal is a wolf with green eyes. My husband thought that his totem was a wolf, and Chris said it was a gorilla, and I laughed hysterically, because that was very fitting, because my husband is very stubborn, just like a gorilla.
Wow.
Laughed hysterically. All right, that's all I have to say. All right. LJ says, thank you both for explaining about dreams. I must go get Sylvia Browne's dreams book. Yeah. And Disha says, I can't say I've ever seen a cell phone in my dreams or a laptop now that I think about it. Yeah, me neither. But I always see my university where I went to undergrad all the time. All the time. All the time. Goodness.
Unresolved issues, maybe.
Yeah. Years and years and years.
What comes to mind? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of the university?
First thing that comes to mind.
First thing that comes to mind
is unresolved sadness. And
okay.
Feeling like I am constantly trying to prove to somebody that I'm smart enough to be there, and that I'm smart enough to have made it past. And because, it's.
Was there a fear, or just I have a sense I need to prove something? Or both?
I think it was a mix of things that were very, very, it was very, very painful. I don't mind talking about it though. I often will have dreams interspersed in there where I get a notice saying that I have to go back to elementary school, or I have to go back to high school because I didn't graduate. And I'm like, I have a master's degree. What is this about?
Yeah.
Like, leave me alone. Stop harassing me. Stop thinking that I'm not smart enough. Stop thinking that I'm not smart enough. So,
that's the right.
Stuck in the back. It's so irritating.
Yeah, and that could be. But what were you doing in your life during that time of the dream? That could be related to something you were dealing with in your life at that time when you had the dream, not the time of school, but the time of the dream.
Well,
you were, in some sense, that could have been like a purge. True. If it was like a fear, annoyance, or like overwhelming emotion, that could be like, blowing off steam.
Yeah, I think that a lot of that is right. And now that we're talking about it, I think I've got a hypothesis forming that maybe it's I need to be telling myself more that I am smart enough, and that maybe that this has something to do with some self-doubts that are going on the inside. Maybe I need to actually like get vehement about it, saying, no, right. I am smart enough to do this, whatever task it is. So
that could be the sound of, like you said, what's going on inside, even though it doesn't feel like it on the outside.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Good stuff. I'm looking over the chat and people are posting emojis of their totem animals. It's great. I love it. Please feel empowered to share. Share your totem animal.
I gotta take a look here. Oh, okay, I see.
Oh, funny.
How fun. I'm afraid of turning things on and off because things disappear on me when I turn stuff on and off. Mm-hmm. Come on.
Well, I think I just looked at the clock. I think we need to.
Yes.
I think we need to dive in. Yeah.
Yep.
Special prayers?
Sure. We'll do that one real quick. Holy mackerel, yeah. So let's do special prayers real quick. Of course, we're including everybody that's posted in the comments, but either before or after or during the show, whether it's from a Sunday service or this week or something coming up, or if you've posted on the prayer chain on the website. So let's take a moment. We're going to get that energy out there. Ask Mother God, archetypes and archangels. Let's get this done. So let's moment of silence. Amen.
Amen.
Let's see. Of course, if be the prayer. If you see a need, fill it. For those of you that are streaming challenged, yes, we have the conference call phone number. You can call in while we're live, and there's several people on there now. That number is 888-534-2696. And appreciate you keeping muted so that everybody has a wonderful session and can hear. What is that? Oh, I skipped over. We're supposed to do trance segments now. And
okay.
Later. So.
All right, here we go. So for we are continuing talking about time, and Francine is just diving right on in. So, first segment, why are we 30 on the other side? And what does that have to do with time travel? Going back in time needs a whirling disk to create a warp. Bermuda Triangle, Omaha, Nebraska, and Java have highways that were constructed during Atlantis that suck time into a black hole. So she's going to talk about that, the Bermuda Triangle, like what exactly is going on with that, which is just wild. Then Andromeda and the Pleiades, some mention about Star Trek, and gravity creates time.
Yeah, so get your
This is intense.
what's the word? There's a word for the discipline. It's what Neil deGrasse Tyson is astrophysicist. Thank you. Get your astrophysicist cap on and and listen up. Here we go.
Now,
Here we go.
there is another catch to this that I'm sure that if you think about it enough, because I always like to address all of the nuances, is that when you do get to the now, why is it that we get back to the age of 30? Because that was collective consciousness in which we decided. That's the only reason. We could have been all babies over there hopping around. But eons of time ago, probably into infinity backwards, is that we all decided that would have been the age that we would have liked to have been. And we stayed at that age. But we could have gone back to the very, very ultimate. You see, there had to be a stop place or else we would have been absorbed again. So we decided, we, all of us, you included, decided that when we went back, going to the now, we would stop at some age. Otherwise, time whisks us right into infinity. We would have just gone right back into God, and that would have been for always infinity going back. It's sort of like you think of an echo going, goodbye, 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 goodbye. We would have been forever echoing through time. So we stopped ourselves at the age of 30. But what's amazing, we were the only things that stopped in time. Everything else is constantly on a circular movement. Now, if you wanted to travel through time, how you do it is you would have to get a disc that went very fast. You could literally go back in time if you got a disc that could go very fast. You would whirl, and what that does is it creates a warp in time. It creates time to bend, because time in your reality is real. We're not sure if you haven't just made it real. But like a merry-go-round, if you went very fast, you could literally pierce time. But what mechanism do you know that could get you back? The one mechanism that you do know that is authentic and real, and you really are there, is regression. And when you go through regression, are you really there? That's been the time-honored question. Of course you are, because your mind is real, the events are real, thereby it is real. And the longer you stay under a hypnotic regressive state, the more I guarantee you're going to feel that it is real. Would you deny me the fact that when you're in a dream, do you not feel that this is real? Mm-hmm. You are living it, are you not? Unless by some means you happen to bring another consciousness in, part of your consciousness, that says it's a dream. Otherwise, you're convinced. That's why you wake up a lot of times and say, oh, thank goodness it's only a dream. Would it seem amazing to you if I said you are in a dream? You are in a constructed dream right now. You made this dream. Some of you are living a nightmare. Some of you are living a confusing dream. Some of you are living a dream in which you cannot get away. You're being chased by all the demons of this world. And I don't mean horns, I mean of work and dissension. But you're in a dream. You're not in a reality. Yes.
A couple things. You've said this years ago in a different way. You would tell us all the time that on your side you operate at a higher frequency.
Yes, we do.
A faster vibration.
That's right. That's why you can't see us.
And because you've accelerated beyond our perception.
Yes.
Or, if you will, your time stopped.
Well, our molecular structure moves at a higher rate.
Probably the speed of light.
No, what the exact, I'd have to find out. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of people know it.
Spirit material. But the other item is you've told us about the warps between galaxies, the
You're right.
triangle
Yes.
and the
Time warp.
Those seem to be spots with no time. And
Well, they were because they were highways. The Bermuda Triangle, there's one in Omaha, Nebraska. There is one on the Isle of Java. There is one in the Bermuda Triangle off Florida coast. And these were actually constructed, they were constructed at the time of Atlantis. And they were electronically constructed, in which mankind knew at that time how to push time into a black hole. So actually they're black holes that transverse.
so they generate their own.
Well, if you were to get into one of those chutes, you could go interstellar travel. Instant. You're shooted right up. That's why the men that were in the squadron, they were shooted right up. Some of them did go underwater, and drown because of see, what it creates is almost like a tornado. And it's a suck up. But people used to know that how to get in at certain times of the year. If you notice, it's very much in spring and fall. It was almost like the highway's open now. And people could interstellar. That's why it wasn't so strange in your movies or what you have television. Your Star Trek, when they had beaming up, yes, that was a beaming up station.
So is it mandatory that you have a matched pair of transmitters, one at the Pleiades,
Yes,
one on Earth?
yes, but see, the one in the Pleiades, one in Andromeda still exists.
There was a movie some years ago based on a hypothetical / reality-based concept that time travel was affected by very, very high magnetic field.
Oh, it's magnetic and gravitational. That's what Einstein literally based his theories on. The gravity. And he believed that the gravitational pull of the Earth also made time palatable.
Created time.
That's right.
That's what it said. Actually, space creates time.
Now, what you, as being parapsychology and esoteric beings, of which he was absolutely one, he just never went under the title, you can beat time. You can time travel. The only thing he's amended is he really believed, like I began to tell you in the beginning of this, is that if you went backward, you could not get out. He also believed there were some instances if you went forward, you couldn't get out.
He thought it was one way.
That's not true. It makes a circular bend. Yes.
Here's the thing, Francine, going back to what you were talking about why we couldn't see because we lived in vibrating and everything. I remember you doing an explanation, I'm trying to clear my mind, about how a musical note. We don't actually see the music, but the music was within the note.
Absolutely. And you hear it.
Yeah, I don't know how you related that, but you gave it.
Just like that. Just like that. In other words, the music, you don't have to know the notes. If Wanda's playing, it comes out. And so you hear it, and it becomes actually tangible to you. Not only that, but music can even bring back all kinds of memories of what you were doing at the time in which it was done. So whether you realize it or not, the more spiritual you become, the more visual you become, the more visual you become, the more in control you become.
That's what I was really trying to relate to, because you were told at that time, the more spiritual we do become, there's certain senses within us
that begin to accelerate.
Ability to see entities in their.
Well, not only that, but you begin to infuse more knowledge, and you begin to really then become more in tune, as they say, with the infinite. Yes.
So once we're trying to get out of live above the body, and I've done this sometimes walking in the hills, you get to a point where you're feeling really good because you're not in your body, and then it's almost like there's like this wrinkle in time. And once I realized, because I was thinking okay, what's in front of me is not what's really here. I want to know what really is here. And then literally in front of me, there was like this little,
Oh, yeah, squiggle.
yeah, and I wanted to like rip it open. But as soon as I realized, it's sort of like I got grounded again.
What you can do though is you can literally walk into this building here, like from here into the office building, it's nothing but rose arbors. And of course I've told you that, but after this, when you go into a place, any place, even your own apartment or your house, and mentally, when you first hit the door, think to yourself, the first image that comes to your mind, and I bet you're going to see whether it's a cathedral or a lecture hall or a pastoral scene or the animal husbandry area, I bet you will begin to feel. That's why it's so important that you get a place that can be very beautiful even on our side, because not only are you fighting not anything with our side, but you certainly wouldn't want to get in the middle of a hog pen, for instance. Or something that wouldn't be as pleasant as, let's say, a cathedral.
So some interesting tidbits with time and how do you use this? How's this gonna help you? Sorry, I gotta make an adjustment here. So I hope you can hear me okay. It's I'm blasting in my own ear over here, and then I can't hear what you're saying. So,
Oh no.
this is a little more tolerable now.
Okay, good.
But it's what do you do with this? Well, to me, it's like reminding us that we're, I think of it as we're fluid within the time structure. When it kind of goes back to, we're a ghost in their world, Francine's world. They're in the reality. We're in the dream state or the etherical state, as it were. So hopefully that helps your mind say, okay, this isn't all there is, that I've got, that all I am is this physical body. There's more to us than what we can see in front of us.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I think that it also makes sense about how sometimes you hear about mathematicians saying that our universe has some very strange properties deep down, and it almost suggests that it's not quite real.
Yeah.
We heard Elon Musk talking about this recently, and he's just like, yeah, this all seems like it's like the math says that this is a simulation, and so it was like a 1 in like 40 billion chance that this is not like an actual base reality. Like it's like the chance of this being a base reality, according to the math that he was talking about, is like 1 in 40 billion, which is just which me as a Gnostic, I was like, oh, it's so interesting that we're talking about this on the Novus Spiritus radio show, the podcast, because yeah, the way that Novus philosophy understands it is that it's exactly like what you said, that this plane that we are currently living in is more of the dreamlike and the dark matter plane. But on the other side, where spirits live and exist and thrive and have full lives, that's the real reality. So it's fascinating stuff. Goodness. Did you catch that whole thing about the Bermuda Triangle and how that works? That is wild. That is so wild. It's basically saying that they harnessed the power of a black hole in order to get a person from point A to point B.
Yeah. Well, we have heard that black holes are portals to the other universe. Vern says. So from a physical standpoint, yes, in theory, the way we understand it mathematically, a black hole would shred us, the physical form of us. But they were able to, control it and use it to their, benefit.
That is incredible.
And
just
it's
absolutely incredible.
But that's because we don't have the technology now.
Right.
It got buried with them.
Right. Can you imagine being a scientist playing around with saying like, I'm going to try to figure out how to make a black hole that sucks people from point A to point B. Can you imagine like the discussions that had to have happened around that, saying like, well, please don't blow up our world. Can you please not blow up our planet?
Yeah,
Let's go over there to that planet way over there and see if we can like test this out. Like that had to have been crazy discussions. Anyone want to sign up first? I'm good. I am good off of that. No, thank you. Oh my gosh, too funny. Gosh, it's so wild. Let's see here. I'm looking over at comments. Thomas says something like a holographic universe. Yeah, that's that seems to be what both our scientists say in some areas, as well as kind of what Francine is saying. I think that's a decent interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
Deesh says, I remember Sylvia saying that to help deal with pain, to be above the body. Did she explain how to do that?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a visual. Visualize yourself being, our spirit is occupying the physical body. And that goes back to, there was a point that came up that crossed my mind about, balance too. When people learning about this philosophy, I mean, for me even thinking about, there's many parts of us. No, we're all, we're a spirit occupying a physical body. The physical body is also a sentient being. Is it another part of you? Is it another? It's just something you're controlling, you're manipulating, but it still has what's the right word? There's still emotion based to it, emotion associated with it, emotion and intellect. We have a physical brain. We're just the spirit that's manipulating it. And so, sorry, what was? I've almost lost the question again.
Being above your body.
Being above your body. It's just, one, visit the doctor, and because I've tried it and it don't work. I had a cavity that wouldn't go away, and I tried to meditate out of it, and it didn't work. So it's like go to the dentist. But anyway, visualize yourself above the body so that you're not. It's your physical body. It can be affected, and when the spirit, when it gets, feels like this is all there is influenced by the physical body. When you think of yourself above the body, you're not connected to it, then you're less likely to be influenced by, the minor aches and pains and things. It won't drag you down as easily. It won't, drain you emotionally as easily. So it's just a physical, a visualize.
Yeah, visualize it. You can even just say, I want my soul to be a couple inches above my body. That's
right.
Just say it like, I want this vehemence. Also, just to offer one practical tool. Hypnosis is one of the best and most underutilized tools out there for pain relief. So going through any of the hypnosis or meditations for healing and for pain relief can be really, really super useful. You can visualize yourself going down a set of 10 escalators, and at the very bottom, there's a dial that corresponds to the amount of pain that you're in. And you can say like, as I'm turning this dial, I'm instead feeling like like something pleasant, like nothing more than just pressure, or just like pain is just turning into just like a gentle pressure. That's it. And so that can be an approach as well as going through all the spiritual tools for meditation that we've talked about.
If it's not a medical issue that needs to be dealt with.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Step one, doctor. Yeah. There's a anesthesiologist at Stanford who only works with people who are allergic to anesthesia. All he does is hypnosis for people who need surgery, who cannot go under with medication. And so he teaches people how to be hypnotized, make sure that they stay hypnotized and aren't feeling anything. And then he will be the anesthesiologist for their entire surgery, and they'll go through the entire surgery and feel nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Right. That's a fascinating power of and Sylvia, she couldn't take medication. She goes to the dentist.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She used to go to the dentist and self-hypnotize herself through the process. So there's it's
Valid.
yeah, a lot of helpful uses, a lot of adjustments, control, fixing, correcting, or what's the right word? Putting nicer. How do you say? Giving yourself better code words, as it were, to remind yourself, hey, this is what we got to think of here. Special triggers, and so very, very powerful tool.
And it's a perfect segue into our next segment, actually, because Francine is going to talk about this very thing, which is just right on point. Thank you, Francine.
Cool. Oh, yeah, we are still on the, yeah.
Okay, so, ready for prepping the next? Okay, so she's going to continue. Our memory is a type of time travel. If you find yourself vibrating at night, say, I want out, so you can astrally travel. You are your higher self. It's not somebody else. You are your higher self. And then letting your mind get out of the way of your body healing.
Yeah, getting out of yourself. All right, here we go.
Picky enough that you don't put yourself into a climatic situation in which it's not conducive to your own spirituality.
That's why some places you walk into,
Oh.
you get a
Horrible.
You just don't want to be there.
Horrible.
Because what really exists there.
Yes.
You have to go.
Some layer of time.
Yes.
Back with your subject there, when I'm running or you're outdoors and your heart rate is up, so the chemicals of the brain, endorphins are
Endorphins really go.
and I can see them. There are spots in your eyes, and I look up and there's the waves and the spots. So it's almost very hallucinogenic, and it clears your mind, and you can release feelings. And there's a lot. So is that kind of what you're?
Yes.
I was always thinking that it's in the body that these things, or in the mind that these things are happening.
Well, yes, but the mind and soul is the same thing. See, the tragedy is of all of your lives here is that your mind soul is trapped in this physiological, very thick, heavy laden body. I don't care how thin or how heavy you are, the body is thick and laden. Yes. But through exercise and through some meditations and through getting above time or feeling like you are the hole that pierces through time, you're going to get more of the endorphins, more of the visual, more of that, the aesthetic. Exactly. Because time makes you depressed. People will say, I'm depressed this time of year. They will say, I'm depressed during the holidays. I'm depressed in the winter. I'm depressed in the summer. Whatever it might be, people have programmed themselves. There's somebody even in the office that says every April I get sick. Well, they get sick every April. People will program themselves. Or November's a bad month for me. Sure enough, November will be a bad month. Whatever.
And is it true that the brain is the one that needs to sleep, not the body?
Absolutely.
It can generate itself, but it's the mind that needs to dream and that needs to go.
No. You have an opposite. The body needs to sleep. The mind doesn't.
there's a study that was recently published where this guy was thinking that
No, the physiological body, the mind doesn't need to sleep. That's why the mind, when you think you are asleep, it's working all the time. It's got dreams. It's flitting around. It's problem solving. It's doing everything. No, your physiological. That's why when you come to my side, you don't need to sleep because the mind soul needs no sleep. No, you could literally, as one big study was done, it's been a few of them, but one recently right out of Stanford was a man had a bullet that was shrapnel that was put into his head by a battle he was in. I don't know whether it was Korean or some war. He didn't sleep for 35 years and he was fine. He had to lie down and rest because of the physiological body, but he needed no sleep because it hit the center in right above the limbic brain, which does not need sleep. Yes.
Going back to the idea that music invokes a memory. And
Smells do too.
Smells do very good. I guess I wonder, is memory then, if you will, a miniature time travel?
Absolutely.
As opposed to something...
Absolutely. Memory is in the now. You know for a fact that you can conjure up, any one of you, let's say if your memory goes back that far, to the age of 5. Can't you have some memories of that and how you felt and where you were going, or if you started kindergarten, whether you liked it or not, whether you cried, whether you liked your soap, whether you liked the nap, you can bring it up. Isn't it in your now? Of course it is. And haven't you ever said about situations or loved ones, and you say to the person, it seems like only what? Yesterday. And it's not because when you get older that time seems to converge. It's because you've lived so much of it, it begins to go faster. But what we're finding in your world is going faster in time now anyway, which is amazing. So it's not just the young that are feeling this. All people are feeling this because your time is spiraling faster. I don't know how many times I've heard in the office when I come in and out, they say, oh my God, it was Christmas and now it's April. It's true. And before you know it, it'll be Christmas again. And then it's just so fast. Yes.
Well, you're mentioning how time travel can be accomplished by spinning faster and faster.
Yes.
Which leads me into wondering, there are times when I am laying down totally relaxed or even purposely trying to meditate, and I start to, my eyes are closed, I start to feel like my body's spinning. What is that?
That's an astral projection.
How can I know you have to not be afraid of it, but is there anything I can do to keep myself?
Yes. When instead of being afraid, when it first starts, say, let me out. Just say, let me out. And see what you do is you keep spiraling and you won't let go. It's sort of like unlatching.
Oh, so
let me get out.
Or out.
Out. Let me get out.
Cut me loose.
Because you'll just keep spiraling then.
That's not hard to get in that state.
No, but the minute you start getting into it, say, let me out. Because the more the time goes on, longer you get more afraid. You get more afraid to let go.
That's the vibration probably then.
Oh, yeah, the shaking. The whole body will shake. The vibration goes. Yes.
As time is speeding up and it goes in concentric circles like this, we still remain the same, correct? So we're not aging, this is my contention, we don't age the same as we used to before.
That's right.
So, and if you program your body not to age.
That's right, it won't.
And in addition, okay, so then, now let's go back a couple of months ago, you and I were talking about time travel, and I said, if you can manipulate the frequency to which you vibrate, this vertical, horizontal.
Exactly.
To draw it into 3 dimensions, when you're doing in the meditation, when you reach that level, when you're trying to change your frequency of vibration, are you there because I feel like when I'm floating, I've all of a sudden crossed dimensions.
You bet. See, but that's a very, very strong meditative state.
And it almost feels like a wave.
But see, that's when you've gotten more into the soul mind than the mind soul. Like she said, does the mind soul need? No, neither does the soul mind or the mind soul. But what you've done, you've gone into really what they call the higher self of you. I'm constantly amazed that people say, well, my guide's my higher self. No, you are your higher self. There's no androgynous being, but what you do is put yourself into your higher self, and that self, that part of your essence, does not relate to time at all.
Exactly the same as superconscious.
Superconscious, the same thing as superconscious.
So is
But
it,
it's all part of you. It's not.
yeah. Is there a way to manipulate that, or once you're in it?
Ask for it. Just ask for it. Like she said, because you'll feel the vibration of that. And when you get into that state, you might be a little bit disoriented for a minute, but boy, it sure comes. And then all of a sudden you see everything so clearly.
Yeah.
See, I'm convinced that, like Roger was saying today, the remission of these cell productions that are causing so much illness is when you hear of a person that's been remissed, I'm convinced they have gotten up onto that higher level and left their body to heal itself without getting, as you see, most of the time, if you notice through life, if the person's very ill, if they lose their mind, their body gets better. It's the truth.
It's true.
People in homes for the elderly will tell you the minute the person goes into Alzheimer's or dementia, their body gets better.
So somebody was asking about how do you be above your body? Again, Francine is telling us, just ask for it. And of course, visualization is helpful too. Just so you've got an idea in your mind, but if you can't visualize it, or you're not sure, one, ask your guide to help get a visual, but two, just ask for it.
Just ask for it. Yeah. It's easy. Francine makes it sound so easy.
Yeah, well, just ask for it. So.
Just ask for it. But yeah, that was a fantastic breakdown of how to get closer to astral travel. It's just like getting to a point of visualizing yourself like having a higher and higher vibration, using that vibration to move you out. And once you feel a vibration, say, "I want out." Interesting.
Hopefully you're not feeling like you're stuck. That the vibration or the
it can be uncomfortable.
Yeah. The feeling. There's a term for it, and I forgot what it was, but the
astral catalepsy.
Thank you. That's the word. Yeah. So I was reminded of. It seems like there was discussion about sleep and the which needs to sleep, the brain or the physical body, and it seems like when she said the physical body needs to sleep, not the mind, and it's like it's getting back to less stress. Requires less sleep. Our mind's doing things. Our physical mind is doing things when we're sleeping, according to current psychological studies of sleep. And our physical body needs to go through that REM stage to help us, is what they're finding. Another fun one. Getting back to visuals, they were talking about memories are a sense of time travel. I recall Sylvia mentioning on occasion about when you have a good memory, save it for later, because when you're in the bad times, it's like that's when you recall the good times. When you're in stressful or feeling bad or sad or something, pull up a good memory that's going to adjust your physical body. Your physical body's going to follow that good memory. As much as you can pull yourself into that memory, your physical body's going to follow suit.
Mm-hmm. It's fascinating stuff. I would love to share a few comments, I think. Naomi shares, we can slow time down. I've told God I need to get these specific things done today, and I need to get them done by this time. And it works, but I need to be cognizant of doing this more often. Yeah, it's a fascinating tool. Old School says, my counselor and I do hypnosis for pain. It works amazing. And she says I'm a natural at it. That's fabulous. I'm glad that it works. It's excellent. It is. Yeah, it's seriously one of the most effective tools for pain relief. If you can Like Sylvia would always say, like, if you can see these people say, my finger is a hot poker, and they're going to poke somebody's arm, and you see a blister welt up on them, like that's hypnosis, and your body is literally manifesting it. And so if you are in hypnosis with either you're doing self hypnosis, or you are with a therapist, like it's not just a panacea. Your body is reacting to the things that are that you're queuing up under the hypnosis, because otherwise, why is there a welt that pops up when someone says my, like,
well, what's the where'd it go? The body is a mind mechanism.
the body is a mind mechanism.
That
Exactly.
was from
last week.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the mind is a goal machine. You put that, get that visual, and that's what it's gonna, reproduce. You convince the physical body that, or the physical mind that you've got a freezer burn, a freezer or a red hot poker. Yes, it's gonna make those changes.
Interesting stuff.
In addition to heal.
In addition to heal. Exactly. And and then there was some earlier discussion about black holes. Alyssa said, this talk about black holes is so mind-blowing. Ah, true. And Jorge says, some people got stuck or sucked into the Bermuda Triangle and such. How crazy. Yeah. I remember Raheem and Francine talking about how they've had to go get people who get stuck in there and pass away. Ugh. That's terrible. Terrible stuff.
One of the stories was about the one in that I recall. One of the stories, I think it was Raheem was talking about the portal that's in Nebraska. Some guy got stuck in it. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know how he got in there. It wasn't.
He's just a farmer.
Yeah, and got stuck inside of it, and
they could hear him yelling in the atmosphere, but they couldn't find him.
Yeah, couldn't see him where. Yeah.
I also recall them talking about one of those portals, someone getting stuck in it, and then they managed to come back out, but it was a time slip, and they were in the past during settlers' times. And that's where they finished the rest of their life and their chart. Can you imagine?
We make movies about that.
We make movies about that, but it actually happened to some poor person. Some poor individual lived out their whole like just a modern person, and I think it was that Omaha. That Omaha one. Yeah, they got stuck in the past during settler times. Ugh. I would be so mad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I would be so mad. Oh, man. Ugh. Okay. And Reverend Effie says, I say to myself when going through an experience, whether good or not good in this life, I ask, please scan this experience right now. So when I go to the other side viewing my life, all of the things I've asked to scan will show up on the scanner. My family and friends would look at me so bizarre in the beginning. At the beginning of the journey. Jill says, wow, that's crazy, Kat. Yikes. Scary about the time slip. Yeah. Just going to be careful around Omaha. I think I'm good. Not visiting any of these places. I'm good. I don't want them. Dee says, so much great advice. Thank you. It explains why my body vibrates at night. Now I can stop worrying about it and just try to astral travel instead. Fantastic. Yeah.
Do remember though, because when it comes to astral travel, and you wake up like drained. It means that you've been spending too much time out there and not giving yourself that mental rest.
Mm-hmm.
I know
Ramona
someone that's
asks,
been dealing with that, so I was like, fun reminder.
yeah. Ramona asks, are portals the same as vortexes? I don't know. That's
I would
a good question.
kind of think so. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would think yes, but hey, we don't know the technology, so
I don't know. Yeah, those places where all the trees are twisted around in a place. I have no idea. I like the mystery spots. I don't know. No clue. Interesting things. Naomi says, Sylvia said the Bermuda Triangle is a time travel thing, and we haven't figured out how to use it. And it's explained in Mysteries book by Sylvia. I can't remember the exact title of the book. Secrets and Mysteries?
phenomena.
It might be in Phenomena. Secrets and Mysteries?
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Crystal skulls, pyramids, sphinx, astrology, black holes, alien abductions. Bermuda Triangle, page 21. Okay. Well, while we listen to our next segment, I'll take a scan through this and see what Sylvia has to say about it, and if there's any particularly good tidbits, I'll aim to try to share.
Cool. You need a virtual highlighter.
Yes, virtual highlighter, absolutely.
So we're gonna do our third.
I think so. All right, so third segment. Society programs so many timelines on illnesses, so why not program your own timeline? Telling people, get better or go home. People don't unwind easily by laying prone, but rather by doing activities that you love. Getting too attached to activities makes us time-bound. Okay.
Cool. I'm just thinking. Sorry, I thought I had just edited that. Well, I did, but it was. I'm like getting my brain sorted out here. Where are we? Anyway, all right. Enjoy and listen.
All right.
It's exactly what you were telling us in the very beginning about the relationship.
That's right.
You're on this relationship.
That's right.
Say, this is what you can do.
Absolutely, and you can do it. It's not some esoteric, miracle-working thing. I mean, it's a practicum that you can use that does it immediately. I mean, even if you just have a dull headache, you can take yourself into the future or even go back in morphic resonance. Or take yourself, let's say you get a flu, take yourself to a week beyond this time. In the now, make sure, because you don't want to be aging yourself by weeks and months, but you're over it. You're past it. Because you have so many timelines on illnesses. They will even tell you when you have a surgery how long it'll take you to recover. If you have the flu, you have 24 hours, 48. You're told everything. They let you up in 3 days. I mean, everything is programmed. Yes.
When people do lose their minds, like the elderly that get into Alzheimer's or lose their minds and their body gets better, where are they if their body's stuck down here?
They usually come over.
So they can't come. That's nice.
That's nice, yes. But the ones we do worry about are the ones that stay trapped in that don't know that they can come over. And they are screaming inside their heads and they can't get out, as much as we see stroke victims do that too. Because unfortunately nobody told them they can unlatch, they can come out.
So that's where we could help them rather than pitying them. Is to
Absolutely. Eventually when you people start hospices, which you will do probably sooner rather than later, you'll be able to go in and tell those people, either get better or go home. I mean, it's as simple as that. And that's the kindest thing you can ever do to people. Yes.
Can I direct my mother to leave the almost all the time in the body that she's in.
Yes, and you should. You should. Tell her go home.
I touch her a lot, and try to tell her to,
But I'd be very strong about that. I mean, I'd look right in her eyes, even though her eyes drift on you. I'd say, go home. Just go home. Let go of this physiological body and go home.
thank you.
Yes.
Francine, one time when I went up to Seattle, I got there and I got violently ill. And Sylvia said, she's got the flu. And it was so important for me to be at that seminar, it was that hypnosis seminar. By the next day, I had recovered.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, one day.
Oh, because a lot of times you see, sometimes even, that's what's happening with the American Medical Association. They won't diagnose, they won't tell you there's any help for it. You have the flu, you'll be over it. Goodbye. It's as simple as that.
It's a week or whatever.
Yes.
It was just,
And it's over with.
yeah, if you don't think of it, you don't have time to get sick.
You won't be. You won't be sick. You won't be sick.
You just need to.
And the marvelous thing, it's like Sylvia was telling me this morning, that she watched somebody who was 104, and the woman said the way to stay younger and live to be old and happy is to keep moving.
No, when you're talking about time, Don Juan, Carlos Castaneda wrote about him, and he had a section in one of the books where he said to stop time. Was he talking about the
Same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing. Drop out.
He was talking about, you can see the connection. He was talking about his son's death and that he had to pull himself away, stop time so that he can see his son, his soul.
Absolutely. I think that's why a lot of people don't feel or see people that have gone on, because they are convinced that time has stopped and not gone on. And in that way, you should know that time is continuum, because a person has gone on, and the fact that you can see them if you wish to. But so many people are so time bound and so caught up in the old ancient programming that when somebody's dead, they're dead. That's wrong.
And that's why the cultures that have kept the truth, knowledge, don't
yes.
have a problem with death.
American Indian, the Aztec Inca, all the cultures that were more, let's say, what people call primitive, which weren't, had no problem. Yes, Aborigines, the Sumerians, Babylonians, some of the people in Africa, they have no problem. People in Calcutta, Kashmir, they have no problem with death. It's just a transitional point to get off the karmic wheel and possibly either come back or not. Yes.
When I saw your yellow owl, I didn't have any control over the time, and yet the air turned pink and there was no sound when the light rail came through. Was that
That's a time stop. Yeah, that's a beautiful time stop.
It was?
Yeah.
How did it happen?
You just were ready for it to happen. The spirit is getting strong enough that it begins to happen. It'll happen more and more.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, you overload and unload.
Yes.
I was talking with Sylvia, and she said that, like her, I would do the same thing. Like, you know, give me it all, I'll take it on, right? You load up, and then you unload, okay? And then, say for instance, an example of, say, I'll work hard all week long, and then sometimes by the time the weekend comes, I shut down and I want to sleep, and maybe I don't want to do anything. How does the overloading, unloading, shutdown time?
If you overload and walk through it, it'll automatically, see, there's a marvelous part of the limbic brain that will automatically shut down so that you will unload. But we've always been taught that if you lie in a prone position and put the covers over your head, you'll unload. You don't unload well that way, because I'll tell you why. You lie there and you obsess about everything that you've loaded up with. And it's sort of like, if you've ever seen a horse that's been running hard, what do you do with the horse? You don't just let it lie down. What do? You walk it for a while. The same thing is with you. People do that continuously. They wait for the weekend to unload or unwind. Wrong thing to do. They don't do it well. No, in fact, they wind up another way. It's almost like you got a thimble full of thread here, and we just watch it wind up on another thread, or a thimble, rather. No, you don't unwind that way. You unwind, strangely enough, with doing activity. Something you love to do. I think that's why Sylvia needle points so ferociously.
Yeah. I was just curious how that kind of fit in with this.
Mm-hmm. And notice too, if being like her, if you go away for a while, your first day is usually flat, and then she'll come back. If she goes away and gets any kind of what we call vacation, the first day she can't even move hardly. And it's not that she doesn't keep moving, it's just that the body has switched off to a different modem.
Yeah, I know I always come back, like I love my walks or hiking or whatever, that kind of gets me back going again. But I was just curious how it all, the overloading fits in with time.
Absolutely it does.
That's because you're, well, in that sense, though, it's not really a time issue, though, is it?
No, it's what you've made of time. You see what I mean? It's all, here we go with the relativity. It's what you've made of time. Watch 3 or 4 people doing the same type of work, and one will load, one will unload, and one won't give a damn. Now, none of them is the best. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just the way everybody views it to be. If you're rushing through life and you enjoy it, I'm not concerned. But most of you that rush frantically through life are not enjoying it. And I think what the key word is taking life too seriously. Some of mothers take their children too seriously. They make it a full-scale job, work, pivot, or let's say your career. You make it a full-scale occupying. If anything, I don't care what it is, it's occupying so much of your mind, whether it's a son, a daughter, a worry. You've got to get rid of it. You've got to unload that because that's now bound you to the time.
And Chris has been mentioning recently too that I think I saw a recent short about how Chris Dufresne was saying that most people are too serious. You know, we're too serious about things, and it's the stress that's gonna give us the ills and the aches and the so we gotta take ourselves less seriously.
I think that is a great idea. It makes me feel empowered to continue being whimsical when I feel like being whimsical. I love whimsy. I love it.
Yeah.
Disney, give me all the Disney movies. I love them. I do. I am looking up one thing that was in this chapter on the Bermuda Triangle. Okay, so a couple things here that I think are worthy of mention. So Sylvia says, okay, so page 21 in Secrets and Mysteries about the Bermuda Triangle, she says, Francine says that from Mexico to Egypt and from Peru to the China Sea, there are vortex points on each side of the equator that interconnect to form a grid of highly electromagnetic areas. There's approximately 12 in all that cause strange phenomena to occur. Not only in these 12 areas, but also on the interconnecting lines that tie them together. And she states that these lines made travel easier for early alien visitors and were also a sort of radio or transmission grid to get information from one place to another, kind of like the internet, but using something totally different. Interesting. Mm-hmm. So the next part here that she mentions is that okay, there doesn't seem to be any particular time that these events happen. Francine said that the only problem is we don't have the technology to understand the concepts that are involved in how these things are created. Mm-hmm. People would place themselves in these. Francine said that the Bermuda Triangle was and is an intergalactic highway in which people could transport themselves from one planet to another, kind of like Beam Me Up, Scotty. People would place themselves in these tubular chutes to be sent up and down to another planet. And she said the only problem is that we don't have the technology to understand its concepts, nor do we know how to get in touch with the planet where we're trying to reach so that they can employ the mechanism on that side to utilize it. So imagine getting on an elevator without knowing how to push any of the buttons, and you just get stuck standing there not knowing what to do or how to get anywhere. There doesn't seem to be any particular time that these events happen or any atmospheric conditions that cause them. Francine says that they're like envelopes of time that open and close. And there's a story that's been well documented in which a farmer walked out of his door in Nebraska and just disappeared right in front of his family. And for 3 days, they could hear him calling for help in the empty air, but no one could reach him. And then the South China Sea has what's called the Devil's Triangle, which is apparently that area around Java that they also mentioned. So yeah, so 3 areas where that we've been talking about today: Omaha, Nebraska area, and the Bermuda Triangle, and the area around Java, which is apparently also known as the Devil's Triangle, where ships disappear. So
Cool.
here we are. Interesting stuff.
Any last comments, or do we want to hit a meditation?
Sure, get some comments. Jill says, Kat, if you like whimsical, you would like my home decor. I like to have whimsical, quirky, and things all around. Send me pictures. Email me, kat@novus.org. I would love to see pictures. Oh, I love seeing things people want to share. Just love it. Gibson says, that's been one of the things I'm keeping more on my plate, building more things in the garden and house. This is so timely and lets me know I'm right on track. It's fantastic. And let's see here. Good. Jill says that she will. Fantastic. All right. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. The folks on YouTube are talking about ants, and I don't think I have the context.
Okay.
And looking at clouds, and hey, maybe it's joyful things from childhood that we can recall having joy about.
Fun. Now it's time for segueing into fun of a meditation. So for those of you that want to participate, we encourage you to sit with your feet flat on the floor and your palms upward on your lap to receive that wonderful grace and healing energy and get rejuvenated. For those of you that need to pay attention to what you're doing, don't pay attention to us, but by all means come back and listen to these wonderful meditations in the on-demand. For the rest of us, we're going to get a rejuvenation, so enjoy.
Find a comfortable place to sit with your feet flat on the floor, or a comfortable place to lay if you need to, and your hands palms upward on your lap. Now, to start relaxing the mind, body, and spirit, take 3 deep breaths and let go of any concerns of the day or the week or the month. Now, close your eyes when you are ready.
The Tree of Knowledge. You are in a field. You are warm, although it's a little overcast and the wind is blowing. There is nothing in this whole field except a beautiful tree to your right. The wind begins to rip a bit. So you move towards the tree's spreading branches and massive solid trunk. Approaching, you can feel the energy of this tree, You move right under it and feel compelled to hug and hold it in the absence of any other living soul. Suddenly this tree, which has always stood for knowledge, becomes almost electrified. You feel as if the branches could enfold you. The branches, a trunk, and the spiraling leaves go upward toward God. And you know that you can meld with this tree of knowledge and search on your own. It will be the most magnificent search that you'll ever have. You're seeking your own spirituality. Let all your stuff fall away. Any feeling that you ought to be poor, humble, or deprived, for example. You are not asking for any more than to simply subsist in your soul. Feel all your questions being answered because you are now quiet enough to listen. Just quiet enough to open up. Your meditation will now be profound enough to hear God's voice. My spirit guide, Francine, talks about how tragic it is that people do not believe that God has a voice, so they never tune in to listen. I feel the grace pour down over you and bring yourself out all the way, feeling absolutely marvelous, better than you've ever felt. You have a feeling of completeness.
Now, bring that wonderful feeling back. On the count of 3, come all the way back. 1, 2, 3. Fully alert, fully awake.
I need a coffee after that one. It's like, oh, sorry, I got you muted.
Got my ginseng tea, speaking of.
Oh, there you go. Oh, I didn't think I was going to go that deep, but because I usually do something like that. You know, one of the things like that, well, not the Sylvia ones. I do the meditation ones, like after lunch, and man, I didn't think I was going to go out that deep, but that's rejuvenating. So I needed something from it. Cool.
Yeah.
What? Oh, I see. We're supposed to keep moving on here. So if you have any questions about what we shared, feel free to post in chat or email us questions to Kat, that's K-A-T, at novus.org, or Tom at novus.org. And of course, we appreciate listeners, both live and on demand. Show your appreciation to New Spirit Radio by sharing, promoting, liking. Check out our websites, novus.org, sylviabrowne.com, and chrisrightnow.com. And of course, find us on Facebook if you haven't visited there. YouTube, yes, there are places and sources of information on YouTube. Let's see, study groups, if you're interested in learning more about our philosophy, go to the website and learn more about how to join and participate in the study group program. Church services, you can watch Sunday services on Facebook and YouTube that I post at the beginning of the month. I've been playing classics from Larry and Sylvia. And let's see, if you want to be invited to the special Zoom service or watch the in-person service in Las Vegas, get your email on the website and you'll be invited to one of those as well. Now it's time for that special prayer service, the novena. For those of you that are new, we are going to visualize that we're all together in a large room and we're all holding hands, making a big, huge circle. And, you know, we could also add to it that, hey, we're hanging around Asna's neck as large pearly beads. And we're going to say a phrase together 3 times. I'll lead, but you say it right along with me, regardless of if it's live or on demand. We're going to say this phrase together 3 times, and then I'll let you know what we want to ask for in form of prayer. So the phrase is, I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. And so we'll say that 3 times together, and then I'll mention what we want to be asking for after each of those. So here we go. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, ask for things for yourself. Okay, next one. Here we go. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, ask for things for others. Okay, and the last one. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, picture our light going out like a beacon for others seeking this spiritual knowledge. So as we're finishing up here. Show your appreciation, but also think of something that you're appreciative of, because that's going to help carry that mindset with you throughout the day. In the meantime, show your appreciation to Francine and Rahim for researching all this wonderful knowledge. And of course, Sylvia for coming to this insane asylum of the universe to start this movement, and for showing us how to get some peace of mind and grace while we're here. Asna for helping and protecting us, Father God for providing the most prestigious school for us to experience, learn, and satisfy our unique spark of curiosity. And I appreciate Bob Engel for helping with some of the graphics and prepping audio. And of course, Sammy and Javon for the wonderful intro outro music. For the show, writing, setup, and hosting is Reverend Catherine Taylor. Editing, technical direction, and hosting is Reverend Tom Bigley. And now we'll conclude with a prayer by Sylvia. Wherever I'm hiding those things. Yep, I got it. All right. Here we go.
Novus Spiritus Communion Prayer. Dear Mother and Father God, I ask you to witness this communion, which is a symbol of finding my very own God-centeredness in Christ consciousness. I am impressing on my higher consciousness, and I am dedicating my life to God's will. The symbol of this communion for me, through Novus Spiritus, means that I wish to be born into the new spirit of true spirituality and let go of all the guilt and karma of our past lives and start fresh and new. From this time forward, I will be on track, fulfilling my theme and walking with the blessed aura of God's light. I do this as an activation of my will to symbolize to myself and the world that I will walk with grace, free of all negativity. We ask this in your name. Amen.
And Kat's going to tell us.
God is an amazing artist. Just look at nature and look in the mirror at who he created in you.
Wow.
Good
For
night.
so long we have ignored you, as if you were not there. All praise went to the Father. We were so unaware that through the years you've shed your tears for all the pain we bear. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. You've planted every blade of grass, creator of the stars. And when I'm feeling down and out, you mend my broken heart. So now I sing this song of thanks because of who you are. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. You're more than a friend to me. You give me everything I need. In your peace you hold me tight. You are the bringer of the light. With no fear we boldly stand, because you hold this world in your hands. You are the truth, you are the hope and love we never knew. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your